Hey there, thanks for tuning into my new show, The Restored. Here on The Restored, we have some amazing guest interviews lined up for you, as well as some small group panel discussions. In each show, our goal is to highlight our common yet unique experiences with trauma, recovery, restoration, and how we leverage our pain as the fuel to drive us towards our purpose. And that is to bring God glory. So sit back, relax, grab a tissue if you think you might need it, but get ready for a very transparent and inspirational conversation with today's guest. Let's tune in.
I know how it feels to be held back by fear, to be held back by trauma in your life. But guys, I grew up, overcame childhood obesity, started my own business, and became super successful. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. This is Jamie Hayes, also known as Jamie the Motivator. I am the Restored.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to have you here, Jamie. To have you here on the show with me is such a blessing to me because you have had such an impact on my life. Guys, we are sitting here with Jamie the Motivator, my fitness trainer. And so today we are going to talk about what it means to have a restored body. Our health is so important to our overall restorative process. And so I thought it was so important to have you come on the show and just kind of talk to people about the importance of having a strong body in order to keep ourselves up and going and doing all the things that God has called us to do. Like we can't run our race and we can't run our race and be strong if we don't have a strong body. Am I right?
Absolutely.
All right. So today we're going to start with our, I always tongue twist when I say that, but today we're going to start with our Fast 5 Fun Facts.
Okay.
Can you say that 5 times?
Five.
Fast 5 Fun Facts.
Fast 5 Fun Facts.
Fast 5 Fun Facts.
Can't say it
Fast
fast.
5 Fun Facts.
Fast 5
Okay.
Fun Facts.
All right. So Fast 5 Fun Facts. Tell me, what was your first car?
First car, junior year, I had 1993 Mitsubishi Galant with a million miles on it.
A million miles on it. Okay.
And it lasts exactly 3 weeks.
Okay. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
All right. So what's your favorite edible treat?
I'll probably say.
Now I'm asking the trainer now. What's your favorite treat?
Yeah.
You can tell the truth.
Oh, I'm gonna tell the truth. Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
I'm here from Georgia, so specifically at Doubletree Hotel. There's a secret. When you stay at Doubletree, they give you complimentary cookies. So I go once a month without staying there, and now I'm cool with the staff. I get free cookies once a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't go by there often though, right?
Once a month.
Once a month.
Just
once a month.
Yeah, once
okay.
a month, get 2 or 3 cookies.
All right.
But typically after a workout, so I earn it.
Okay, so you work for it first.
Definitely earn it.
Your favorite vacation?
I love Jamaica.
Why Jamaica?
It's something about the water, the air, the culture. I feel like I'm Jamaican at this point.
Okay, that's a whole new word you just gave us, Jamaican. Okay. Give me your most memorable, funniest, but teachable moment.
Most memorable, funniest, teachable moment.
Something you can laugh about now, but it wasn't so funny back then.
Yeah, I'll probably say the journey of becoming a personal trainer. I remember my first year, I came up with this ideal of branding. So I said I wasn't going to buy any clothes, I was going to save money. So all my t-shirts said trainer.
Okay.
So I had like every color you could think of, but we have trainer on it. And I remember one day I was marketing and I kept seeing the same person in the same week. And the guy was like, "Do you own any other clothes?" And I knew right there that, the brand was really working, like the ground and the hustle was really. So at the time, I was looking at it to save money and to be consistent, but everybody else, thought it was a good marketing plan.
Wow.
So it's funny to look back on, but
yeah,
it was a do or die for me.
Okay. All right. So some of us got those favorite black pants that we wear every day to the gym, and people think, does she have any other pants?
Yeah. Exact
right.
same thing.
But actually, I do have several pairs of black pants. They worked and they fit. They felt good. So I just bought 3 or 4 pairs. All right. And last question. What is your mantra?
I got a lot of them.
Okay.
The one that I always say is meet you at the top because the bottom is too crowded.
So tell me about that.
Well, whenever I'm talking to people, it's one of those things where for me, the mountain is at the end of what you're trying to accomplish. But at the end of every mountain begins another mountain. So you get one peak, then there's another one. So, for me, it's just life is always one big journey.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense. When you think about the top and the bottom being too full, I think about a mountain. Everybody is not going to climb the mountain.
Yep.
I still haven't climbed Stone Mountain. I'm
See?
at the bottom with the rest of the crowd saying, y'all do it. Y'all keep going. I'm going to get there one day, though.
Yeah, you start off, everybody's together and they're excited. The more you get to doing it, you look up, people falling off.
Mm-hmm.
Only by yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's so important when it comes to thinking about our lives and the things that we aspire to do. So Jamie, the motivator,
Yes.
we're talking about restored health and what it means to have a strong body.
Yes.
And to be mentally fit, we've got to be physically fit.
Correct.
So I'm going to start with, how is your heart doing these days?
With fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my mindset is it's been cultivated over a lifetime.
Okay.
I tell everybody, people see me now,
Mm-hmm.
and I call myself obese, but at one point I was obese. And it was one of those things where health was serious for me. I'm from the South. My family, we eat whole meals every night, cooked meals, but I was an athlete. So I didn't think I was overweight or fat or chubby. To that one day I went to the doctor, and the doctor told my mom doing a physical that your son is physically fit, but he's fat.
Wow.
She did say FAAT.
The doctor said fat.
Oh yeah. So this was during the time when foreigners, specifically Indian lady, they just say what they want to say. They don't sugarcoat stuff. They say, "Honey, you're fat. You're fat." Like it's cool. She told my mom I was fat. She said, "Fat kids grow up to become fat adults." And I went home and cried. Told my grandma I was getting ready to die. She said I was obese. I don't know how long I have to live. My grandma said,
"Wow."
She said, "Baby, you're just a little chubby, and I'm gonna send you a workout tape." And so my first introduction into fitness was 11 years old, and that was when I was cognizant about what I ate, how I ate it, the times that I ate, and I was that fit kid that was intentional. So everybody's eating Takis and cookies and Snicker bars. I was eating apples and oranges at 11 because they just told me I was fat.
Wow.
So that's when life changed with me.
Wow. I can only imagine as a kid hearing that from your doctor.
Oh yeah.
That your kid is fat. And the kid being in the room, I can only imagine the trauma that you probably experienced in that very moment.
Big time.
So when you talk about trauma, are there other experiences that you had with weight that impacted you to where you're now this beast when it comes to fitness?
So it seemed like that day a switch went on. Like I never saw myself as being chubby, never saw myself having any insecurity. The moment that the doctor said that, every day after that, it seemed like I was looking at myself.
Wow.
I was in the mirror looking at, I would say, okay, I was looking at the titties on my chest.
Wow.
I was looking at myself going to the pool, having a t-shirt on. I remember being so chubby at one point, people asked my mother, was that your daughter or your son?
Wow.
And it was like, your daughter, she real pretty. And
Did you have long hair or something?
I had a mini afro. But chubby kids, you have a chest and then your breasts go out. So it was one of those things, and it was like I remember these things specifically.
Wow.
And going into those years, I was real insecure. I was real self-conscious. I remember going home at certain nights being insecure, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, okay, I gotta change myself.
Wow.
And at the time, I didn't know how, but I knew I wanted to change myself.
Wow. It's amazing how that conditioning instantly programmed you for the rest of your life, that one moment as a kid. And I can recall having a same scenario very early on, elementary school. We had field day, and I remember wanting to not go to field day. Because I had one instance where it was my turn to run during the relay race. I didn't want to run, and they called me to run because we had some fast runners, right? We had a lot of fast runners in our class, and no one wanted me on their team because I was not a fast runner, right? And so it got to the point that when field day came, I would look for different ways to get out of going to school that day. Like, oh, Mom, I got a headache. Oh, Mom, my stomach hurt. I don't want to go to school today, right? Because I knew it was field day, and I knew I was going to have to run in the relay race. Everybody had to run in the relay race, right? You could not get out of it. Everybody in your class had to line up in that line. And, it was this big war between classes, whose class was going to win the relay race. And so because of those experiences where it was my turn to run, I get up to the front of the line, I'm running, and I'm hearing the kids laughing behind me. Oh, yeah. And by the time I came to your training studio, and started working with you. And we had been working for a few months.
About 3 months.
And you told me to sprint. And I don't think you knew what was coming that moment. You said, okay, I just want you to run down there and come back. And you walked away. And I'm standing there like, you just told me to run. Like, you have no idea
how much was behind that.
What was really happening in my mind in that moment. I'm all the way back in 1985, 86, sixth grade, in that moment, all over again. Wow. And I remember you coming back to me and saying, what's going on? And I was saying, I don't run. Because I had been conditioned that I should not be running. Wow. And I remember you saying to me, are you going to allow something from 30 years ago impact you today? You're not there. You're here right now. Have you had other clients that have had experiences like that in your gym?
Yeah, over the years, they named me Jamie the Motivator.
Okay.
And that name was given to me from one of my clients. Mm-hmm. But I always said the example of like, we're little cats in a mirror, but we're a lion. Mm-hmm. So I have to give an illustration to everybody. Like, you still look at yourself as one way, but you've grown to a different part. And typically people, like, they change their mindset at that point. But, it could be things with stairs. Mm-hmm. It could be stuff with, like, people, like, they got hurt with a trainer or they got hurt in high school. So it becomes a common thing where I'm not just motivating people or helping people exercise. I'm breaking chains off of people. Mm. I'm changing their mindset.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things I love about working with you and why I still run with you. Because when I see you training different people in the gym, and even when you train me, I don't see you focusing more so on the weight.
No.
The entire time you're in the gym, you're dealing with people's minds. Correct. And I think that's what makes you so successful. I've run into other people that say, yeah, I just started working with Jamie, and I'll say, stick with him. And it's not just because of the results that we see in our body, but because the overall impact you're having on our mental health.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to ask you, when it comes to overall health, how does trauma, in fact, impact our physical health?
It's big. It's the difference between you holding on to that weight and you wonder why, like, man, I can never get rid of those last 10 pounds. Mm. I can never get into this outfit. I can never I work out for a year and then I can never go longer than a year.
Right.
Because what happens is we put that mental wall up and that becomes the standard.
Right.
And we don't know how to go through it. We go around it. We go up under it. We do everything. We go above it, but we never go through it. And I have to tell people, like, until you put the work in, until you get comfortable being uncomfortable and just putting in the work and getting yourself to where it's almost on autopilot.
Yeah.
Until you get to that place, it won't happen. So I have, in my 15 years of training, I've had people come work out with me for 3 months, fall off for a year, come back and do another 3 months. And it's like, when I see them, I say, hey, how you doing? Are you ready this time? And they're like, what you mean? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go past these 90 days that you've been doing? They're like, you remember that? Yeah, I remember that. So it's like you have to kind of call them out about it, but then we got to set a plan. And we got to put the plan in motion, and we got to put the work in.
Wow. So when you have kids, right? And I love Mr. Jameson. Hadn't seen your other one quite often, but what do you want your kids to take away from what they see their dad doing and how you're out building lives? Like, they're at the gym watching dad motivate people. What do you want them to take away from this?
So starting off as a father, I thought about everything I didn't get from my dad. So I said, okay, my dad did a good job. He showed me how to work hard. He showed me, I remember my dad always telling me, don't steal, always work hard, go to school. A fool can go to school and can stay out of trouble. So I remember those key things, and that became my standard. But then as I became a father, I wanted to not just say things, I wanted to lead by example. Mm. So now with my son, I talk with him. Mm-hmm. I don't have to whoop him. I feel like I don't have to whoop him. Right. Now, as a man, I may have to pick him up and, and we get...
got to get real with him.
We got to get in the air, and he has to get to my level. I pick him up. That's my thing, but leading by example. So, my son sees me working out. He sees when I'm tired. He sees when I want to give up, and I turn everything into a lesson. Mm. And it's the fact that we all get tempted, but I'm not going to allow the temptation to overtake me. And I just live by one big example. So me being a father, I look at it more of a mentor and not just do what I say and not what I do.
Real quick, What has your journey to restoration been like when it comes to restoring your mind from that traumatic experience as a child? Were there different stages that you had to go through to recover?
Yeah, so for me, it was a few key moments in life. The becoming, being told I was obese and fat kids coming over, overweight adults,
Mm-hmm.
to me being 14 years old going to juvenile, doing a year in juvenile. I
Wow.
talk about that here and there, but those key moments in life, and then also the third one of having a season-ending injury
Mm.
in life, in football. So those three are what cultivated me, and I looked at those. And I used to say, "Why me? Why me? Why me?" But I started to realize that I was being pruned. Um, I was being cultivated for the next level. So when I deal with people that are overweight, I know how to talk them through it.
Mm.
When I talk to people that's being incarcerated, with the kids or adults, I can relate to them. When
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people that's had a dream and they had to give it up, I know how to talk to them. I know how to help them
Wow.
out, because I felt like once I got hurt senior year of high school, I felt like it was nothing else to do in life. Like, what was I going to do? And then a year later, I got my own gym.
Wow. So would you say you're restored?
Definitely restored.
Amen. Hallelujah. You
Absolutely.
are the restored. So, Jamie, there are probably people who are watching my new show that are working out. They may feel defeated. They may have certain levels of anxiety about exercise. They may feel like it's too late for them
Right.
to start over again. If you were to encourage them, could you look in that camera and encourage that person or either pray for them?
Absolutely. Well, I would definitely say, I would give them my number one verse is Psalms 23, Lord's my shepherd. I know that inside and out. So definitely pray on that, live on that. And then I would just say, get started. The toughest part of everybody's journey is just getting started. Everybody wants to see the finish line. Everybody worry about, getting started and will I continue on? One foot after another. Start one day at a time. Each minute gets you closer to each day. Each day gets you closer to each week. You'll look up, you'll be a year in, and 1 + 1 will always equals 2, which means you have to trust the process. The process will never fail you.
All right. Well, thank you, Jamie, for coming on my show. And I will be back in the gym
Thank you for
next
having me.
week.
I got you.
I know you hadn't seen me in a few weeks because I've
No,
been traveling, but I have been working out right here at home and at Planet Fitness up the
absolutely.
street. And I like to run and get in the pool. So, I like to do all these other things, but I'm still staying active. I never stop,
That's what it's all about.
So thank you so much for coming on the show. Can't wait to see you again.
Thank you for having
God
me.
bless you.
Absolutely.
And I honor you and I respect you, not just because you're my trainer, not just because you bark at me in the gym and you give me that look,
Right.
but because you have done the work and you have come into your own. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. God bless.
Absolutely.
Wow, what an amazing conversation. Thanks for tuning in today. If something was said here that has inspired you or your relative or a friend to keep moving forward in spite of the challenges that you're facing, or if you just needed a little extra push to continue to have hope, then our mission has definitely been accomplished. The Apostle Paul tells us in Ephesians 3:16, I pray that God would unveil within you the unlimited riches of his glory and favor until supernatural strength floods your innermost being with his divine might and explosive power. You've got some power on the inside of you, but you've got to believe it. And once you believe it, your entire outlook on life will change. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Like the video, share it, and subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode. And I want to remind you of this. You too can be restored to power.